Hey, everyone. I am so excited to be celebrating Teresa Brunsting's new book, Finding Normal in Bipolar. You guys, this book has hit #1 already. We are super excited. I'm going to let Teresa introduce herself after I say a few quick words. And then I want you to meet really Missy and I, which have been coaches in her past. But honestly, she's running the show now with the Lord, and we're just proud of her. So we're just here to celebrate and encourage her on. And so Teresa, yeah, she is one of my dear friends. We've known each other for a long time. We've watched each other grow spiritually strong in the Lord. She's probably seen me heal through many things. I've seen her do the same. She is my golf partner at times. She is a bunco player with me at times. She is just a sister who I can cry on her shoulder. She can do the same with me. If you ever wanted a friend who's been through the trenches and also has gotten on the other side, she is your Sherpa. All right. So Teresa, go ahead. Tell everyone a little bit about yourself, and we're going to dive into some really cool questions that I have for you on your book. She has not heard these questions before, you guys. So Teresa,
No, I haven't.
a little bit about yourself.
It's nice to meet you all. I'm Teresa. And like Niccie said, we've known each other a long time. And she has been an encourager, and also Missy, in getting this book out. The book has been a very healing process for me. And I would encourage anyone that is going through some things to at least journal if you're not going to write a book, because it is so helpful. And when it's finished, it's fun. It's like, wow, I'm finished. It's exciting. So
Absolutely. I've got to change our view here. So, so you are the big one and we are the little ones. If I can figure this out, guys, I'm going to do some playing around here. Ooh, not that. There we go. Can you shift yourself into the middle? You're the featured guest there, Teresa. Yes. That one looks better. All right. Okay. So she is traveling for Thanksgiving, but you know what? It is Black Friday coming up here, and we did not want to waste this opportunity, because this is the book that you should be buying, I think, for a sister and brother who has been through some of these things that you're going to hear us talk about here in a few minutes. Missy, go ahead, share a little bit about yourself, and not before I go ahead and tell everyone a little bit about her, but Missy and we joined another group together. And, you just have certain people that you resonate with. And she was one of those. We had the privilege of working together as well. And I've just seen her. And I think I remember once, I don't know if you remember this, me saying to you, can I just help you anyway? Just like I just want to, because I know the Lord has called you. And I know that if there's anyone I could invest in, you're going to use it really well. And so I've watched her do that, and Teresa's felt the effects of it. And so I have so many others. We also have a magazine called As For Me in My House, and a bunch of her members in her community end up contributing to our magazine and ours. So if you follow us, we're just a group, these three ladies, that are intertwined in many ways. So Missy, tell everyone a little bit about how they can get back to you and why you're here, because it's great.
Well, I am here partly because, Niccie helped me a lot and just believed in what I was carrying, that what God had me doing even before I believed in publishing. But I am a writing coach and a publisher. And I have a company called Light Warrior Publishing, as well as a writing training program called Warrior Writer Training. And one of the things we do is that we see individuals who don't know what to do to get their book out, and we come beside them and we hold their arms up, basically, and help them and stand with them and help them get their books out, because their books are their messages and their ministries and their callings. And so we believe, like with Teresa's, I believe so strongly in this book that she's just releasing right now, that I know it's going to change families. It's going to change people's lives. I know it's going to be a blessing to whoever has it in their home. So I met Teresa through Niccie. So if that tells you anything, it comes around. It's just a beautiful circle of life.
It does. And, I said the word Sherpa before we start in these questions, Teresa. I just sort of want to talk about that a little bit so that the viewers know what I mean when I say that. But I always feel like the Lord, I don't feel like this, it's written, when the Lord carries you through something, then that's part of our gifts and talents. That's part of how he's crafted us, made us, redeemed us. And there's great work that he wants to continue to do. And not many of us are willing to be pruned and humbled and to step up with humility up under the Lord so that all that greatness and power can be used in the world. And so what the enemy meant for harm, you are making for good with God. He's doing it through you, right? And so let's go ahead and jump into some of these questions. So the first question that I have for you is, what enticed you? Well, tell us the title and the subtitle. It's written there, but tell us the title and the subtitle. You're like 30-second trailer on what it is. And then I have a good question for you. So go ahead and start there.
The title is Finding Normal in Bipolar. Subtitle, Leveling My Mind and Becoming My True Self with God's Love and Peace. And that is what my book is about. So,
yeah. Okay. So this is on her story, as well as she said journaling is so helpful, but in the writing group that she's in, Melissa's like an inner healing woman that is working with people as they're processing, because we know these books process us and they get us, the Lord works through us. We are birthing these books because we are going through a lot of transformation and change. And I know that happened with Teresa, but that's what I want to say is, before that happened, there was something in you that made you think I should put this in a book. What got you? Because there are many people with messy stories or hard past. What made you think I should write this?
Well, you were an inspiration for sure, because we did coaching together, and I think it just it hit me that I was getting well and doing well, and wow, would that be great if I could help someone else? And so that's kind of why I wanted to do it. And my husband and I say, if I help one person, then that's great.
That's good. That's so sweet. And if you hear that with some scripture behind it, it was for others. It was by grace and for others, like her heart for others. And if others could learn from this. And so that's why we know this carries what I would call anointing, Holy Spirit, God partnered energy behind it. And I know the heart. I know the heart of Teresa as she wrote this book. And I also know the healing she went through because of Missy, in that this is good stuff. So let's go ahead then. And you've answered question number one. What made you do this in the first place, out of your heart for others? But the second thing being, what really is this book? Is it a memoir? Is it a teaching book? What is it doing? Tell us a bit about your book.
Well, it is my true story, so I guess you would call it a memoir. But as we progress in the book, toward the end, I do have strategies and I offer help for others. So it turns into a little bit of a self-help at the end. So
yeah. Missy, I'm curious from you, when you look at the book and you know some of the things throughout this book, right? So share with us a few key points that you are like, because most often people don't really want to brag on themselves. This is your time to kind of brag on this storyline and the transformation that people could get from this book.
Yes. Oh, okay. The first thing I would say is, Teresa is so authentic and she's very vulnerable in this area. A lot of people won't talk about bipolar. And what she did is she opened up those areas in her life that are very, very vulnerable. They're very vulnerable. But what I see is that when people who are struggling with bipolar read this, they're not going to feel alone. They're going to be like, there's somebody out there cheering for me who's walked through the path that I'm walking in right now or have walked. But here's the big thing. The family that surrounds those individuals don't understand what's going on inside of their loved one. And this book opens up the door to show this is what your loved one is going through. They don't like this either. They're trying to find normal here. Yeah. And if you could just work with them and understand where they're at, then it helps. And the beautiful thing that she has in there is she asked her son and her daughter and her husband to write a little bit, and that is in the book itself, and it gives you a perspective from those people who live with an individual with bipolar. And so this is a book not just for people with bipolar. Actually, it will help anybody who knows somebody who's bipolar, and help them understand them and help them continue to stand with them in their healing process. So that's something I've never seen in any other bipolar book. Never.
Yeah. I absolutely love this. And I sort of want to speak to healing, hope, that sort of messaging with someone with bipolar. And I'm curious for your opinion on this, Teresa, just because I've seen so much change in you. And we don't want to make any labels about healing. So I'm going to share some things that are only in my space. This is not you guys. And then I want your take on this. But this is for the listener, because I've seen so much redemption in the space of mental illness. And so the way I like to explain it is absolutely, we are not ever going to say you don't need a doctor. Like, come on, right? And often medicine and all sorts of things, right? But often when mental illness is part of the picture, there's a lot of deep-seated and generational things and all sorts of other spiritual warfare that's attached to it. Maybe not the root of it, sometimes the root of it, but maybe not. But it's still there. And so when someone is able to really lean upon their faith, which you did and still do, that healing is allowed to do its redemptive work inside the space that is spiritual. So does it mean, get this all, connected to God and you'll have complete healing? No, we're not saying that. I'm not ever going to say that. But I will say the spaces that are rooted in or connected to spiritual warfare, those things can be redeemed. And this is a beautiful book that Teresa I've read glimpses of it. I still haven't read it all. It's my Christmas book. So what Teresa's going to be doing, and from what I already saw, was she had times when her faith was strong and she was connected to the Lord and there was processing and healing, other times where she wasn't, and there were other consequences. And so what is like the answer for people that are like, hey, I'm going to get this book and I'm going to have complete healing, or vice versa? I'm going to get this book and I don't know what that means for me. What is your thoughts on faith and healing and stuff?
Right. Well, I think, faith is very important, and it gives you that backup that you need when you're going through things, because you know that God is always with you. There are times when you fall back and you don't trust as much as you should. And that's when you pray and ask for forgiveness, and then you move forward. And I think one of the things that you have to do is give yourself grace, because there are going to be times when you just aren't yourself, but forgive yourself. You have to be your own best advocate in things, and you have to accept and move forward with God. And sometimes it's one step forward, two steps back, but you keep moving forward with hope. And I think hope is what I hope my message is in this book, is that no matter what, whether it's bipolar or anything else, that there is hope.
Yeah. All right. So now we know that it's not just bipolar, right? You're touching on some other points, motherhood and some other things. So tell us a little more about what's in this book, who the reader might be.
Okay, well, it could be just anybody, because I talk about getting married at a later age and struggles with dating. I talk about having my son. I talk about we adopted internationally. My husband and I had marital struggles, so that's in there. It's just a little bit of everything, and that's what life really is. And it's how you deal with what comes your way. And if you let God, he's the potter, and he's going to mold and shape you in those difficult times.
Missy, this one's for you. So, I mean, I want to announce this. I think I put it right in the notes here, but like, this book is already a #1 bestseller, you guys. So this is a big deal. So let's go ahead and have you, Missy, like, what is one challenge that you saw Teresa go through while writing the book that other people really like, they can resonate with, and they will get some answers inside of this book?
Wow. Okay. That's a really good question. There are a lot of places, because the one area that I saw her she came to a very traumatic event that happened between she and her husband. And that was very painful. And in it, she recognized, I need some more healing here. I'm just not ready to really go deep in here. And so I just admire Teresa, because she pulled back. She said, I just need a little bit of time. She pulled back, she got it right, and then she moved forward. And I know it was painful, but it's those areas in your life and that's why I love writing so much. Writing your story is because you start writing, you think, I'm fine here, I can do this. And then you start remembering, and those emotions start coming in. And the beautiful thing that Teresa did is she stopped and she said, I'm going to deal with these emotions right now. I'm not going to move forward unless there is healing taking place. And she did. And she finished that. That chapter was, wouldn't you say that was one of your hardest chapters,
That
Teresa?
was probably the hardest one.
We kept going through it, and I'm like, but I need to know what's here. Why are you hiding it?
And I was calling you and saying, I don't know if I could keep doing this. But
Can we just be done? And I'm like, you've got this. And her book is just so powerful in that way, because she pushed through and said, I'm going to heal this part of my life. And I believe that it made her marriage even stronger now.
Oh, me too. I love these two. I know Doug as well. They are like my favorite couple. They're so cool. All right. So Teresa, we're heading back to you with this a little bit. I'm curious, how is it? What do you do in your writing style? Or I know the answer to this, so I guess I'm queuing you up to share with people, to know that when they're reading, you're prompting them to reflect on their own life. So they're also, whatever that thing is in their life that they're hiding or holding back, to get that processing going. What do you do in your book? Do you just share your story, or do you inspire?
I do share my story, and I share it. And my intention is to share it in a way that people, when they read it, they go, oh, I didn't know someone else felt that way, or I'm not alone. And, and they relate to it. So.
Yeah, I agree. The sections that I read had a constant flow of inspiring self-reflection through the whole thing. And so the individual readers, if this is something that you feel like, gosh, I want to not only read this story, but I want to be challenged with some reflective thoughts on my own life and where I sit. And am I doing that? That's why I believe this book is really being bought and shared. And so we have one more question for you. So if this is a fun one, and either of you can answer this, okay? So if the book was adapted to a film or TV series, who would the main actress be, and the actor be? That's a good question.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You.
Well, yeah, it would have to be someone older, because I'm older now. But are you talking about a younger version or an older version?
Yeah, it can be. I don't know. I'd say someone in between. They can look a little young at the beginning, and then, because your story, for the most part, it's about mid-20s into now.
Right. Oh, I don't know. I like that. I can't think of her name. The gal that played in Mamma Mia, that played Sophie in Mamma Mia.
Meryl Streep.
Yeah, and Meryl Streep could play the older me.
Yes.
She would be amazing.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Okay, well, that was a little lighthearted and stuff, but now I want you to tell us if this story can go beyond a good read. Do you see in your future, like, what God might be opening up for you based off the book?
Yeah, I'm hoping that I can do some speaking about some of the topics in my book. I also want to offer free session where people can tell me their story. And if it's something that we connect, that maybe I could coach them. And that type of thing. So I'm just looking at, taking it one step at a time and seeing what God has in store. And I know that's the way it's going to unfold. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, Missy probably can see things too. I feel like, from the beginning, I've felt like I've heard from the Lord and felt very affirmed in the fact that you will be a mentor to women, that you will help others find the normal in some crazy, hard, difficult things in their lives and know how to navigate that, whether it's somebody that maybe has a child that has some learning disabilities, me included. Maybe it's somebody who's adopted a child. Maybe it's somebody who's been through some of these other things that you talk about in the book, or their own personal journey. But we've already seen you on stage. Do you remember the first time you spoke at the Legacy Leader Conference? Yeah. You and I prayed together before you went out because I thought, oh my gosh, this is a lot to be putting on Teresa. And you blew me away. You were so magnetic. And I mean, the Lord was all over you while you were speaking. So I know having you be a speaker is going to be good space. And then you've gone on to do it again. And also, she right now coaches, and to do this in a way now that's more of a calling instead of just, as a mentor and as a friend and that sort of thing is a pretty cool thing. Missy, what about you? Do you see this book being able to be used in a way that can make disciples of men or something?
Absolutely, especially towards the end, because she literally shares what she did to help herself to feel normal again. Yeah. And I think the misconception out there is you either have it or you don't. And it's like, well, it doesn't just go away. How do you live with it and conquer it in everyday decisions? And that's where Teresa can teach others how she did it. Because as I've been with Teresa, I think we've been together, is it 2 or 3 years?
2 and a half, something.
Yeah. Other than knowing her story, I would never know that she has come to a place where she knows how to handle every little detail of her life when it comes in, I don't know if she would call it a trigger or whatever comes in, she knows exactly how to go, okay, let's take this and let's pull in the right thing where I have the power and not my emotions right now. And so that is invaluable for anyone who has bipolar, who has been struggling with any kind of mental illness. So yeah, it's huge right now.
Awesome. Teresa, is there anything that you were like, boy, if I get on this talk show, there's I want to make sure I say this, or anything you want to leave people with, especially how they can connect with you?
Well, I want them to know that they're not alone, and I am available, and I would like to hear their story. The thing that I would like to do with people is have them take a spiritual gifts test first, so they can really see who they are and what is valuable in their being that God has created them to be, and then go from there. And I think that would be a good place to start.
Yeah, that's awesome. So they find you at you are tell us your website again. I don't want to say it wrong.
You can get to it by putting just teresabrunsting.com, or Behold You're Bold is my I like to encourage bold living, and I have an acronym that I use in my training and that type of thing.
So Teresa said the word overcome. I think Missy said the word victor. When I think of Teresa and the work she does with other people, it's that shifting from being a victim to a victor, and through Christ, right? So you guys, please reach out to Teresa. The link there is in the chat, in the comments. However, you can just go to Barnes & Noble. You can also go to Amazon and just type in the name, or type in her own name, and you will see it there. And I have a feeling, they better hop in now, because Amazon sees the sales and then they start to put a discount on it. So if they're wanting to get it in cheaper, now's the time. You guys, thank you for being with us. It's a delight to know both of you guys. Missy, why don't you share with everyone how they can reach out to you too? And then we'll head up.
You can find me on any social platform, Missy Maxwell Worton. And one of the things, I do give tips all the time on TikTok, and that is my TikTok is Light Warrior 528. So you can find me there, but go to MissyMaxwellWorton.com. And that will find anything you need to know about me, and maybe a few extra things you don't.
Right. All right, you guys, that is going to do it. Please head out and get Teresa's new #1 bestseller, Finding Normal in Bipolar, Leveling My Mind and Becoming My True Self with God's Love and Peace. Thank you, guys. That is going to do it for today, and I can't wait to see you next time.
Yay.